gig with a bit of ASMR. That is so rude.
Hi guys. Hey guys, welcome
welcome
back
to
Hey guys. Hi guys,
A
welcome
sick
back to
induced.
Hey.
Hey guys, welcome back
guys.
to.
Welcome back.
Oh my god! Okay,
Sorry.
actually,
Go for it.
welcome to It's a Joke.
What is it? I think it actually is at this
And the
point.
joke on this week is on Connor's physical health.
Girl, there's always something. I lost my voice. It was much worse yesterday. Like I wasn't able to talk at all properly yesterday.
Connor yesterday was like listening. It was like going through puberty all over again for you.
Wait, dude, did I send you a voice note at all?
What? Yeah, I think so. I think you did.
Hold
See
on.
if you can find one. It was cray.
So I think this is me talking about The Legend of Zelda. I think.
As previously discussed in the
I
last
see,
episode.
yeah, I think it is the same map, but like people are like really confused about it because there's a lot of landmarks that are.
Oh, that's fine.
Never mind, I sound the exact same as I do today.
No, but in the morning when you just got up, I think you did send me a voice note and you sounded Mick
No,
horrendous.
I think I sent you a video.
Oh,
I sent one to
maybe.
Katie though. Hold on.
Because even now
It's,
you can hear it.
I literally, oh my god. I literally woke up about 2 hours ago, and I've been talking like this.
Miss.
I can't talk properly at all. It hurts to, like, I've just strained my neck. Oh my god.
Girl, that's so cursed.
That is cursed.
Cursed the boots. But I can slowly feel my heart coming back. Are you kidding me? My voice coming back.
Your heart. Yeah, your sense of self.
Hi, how are ya?
I'm just fixing something on the lappy toppy. I'm good. I've had a sleigh time. We've just been hanging out.
We've just been.
I'm starting college soon.
Slay.
Very excited
That's
about
really
that.
fucking exciting.
I'm doing languages in college, but I have like 2 weeks free before it starts, so it's nice because I'm just like hanging and doing shit and just like having some time to like relax and get stuff ready
Work
and
just
mentally get myself ready.
because it's such an important thing. Like that's a fucking
Yeah.
huge thing to
I'm
start
excited.
doing.
I want to organize like just do an organization of all my stuff. Like I have a patch of an Orla Gartland patch, a zombie patch from her music video. It was from her merch at her concert. That I don't want to iron onto my like bag. And what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so I want to like organize my bag. I want to organize my laptop files so bad. And because a weird blessing in disguise, mom. So hey guys, tune back into episode, I want to say it was 2 episodes ago or 3. I think it was the episode we had Kid on when I explained why we weren't recording because my laptop, I got locked in my laptop. Kind of a blessing in disguise though, because when I got it fixed, they have a backup of all my files on a different like account. So I was oh, that's perfect because I wanted to organize all my files or like move them off and like reorganize them. So now I just have them all in one folder.
That's so slight.
Which is
I
great.
tried doing that with my laptop as well a few times, where I just like bought a USB and I like transfer all of my files individually onto the USB, and it took so fucking long.
I just want to like organize them up and organize the folders for college.
I don't have my files. I also broke the charger for my laptop, and I guess I just haven't bought a charger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then again, my laptop's like 12 years old and it's so slow.
Listen, it's trying to revive like a skeleton at this point.
Corey, you should get yourself an iPad for college. Get yourself an iPad Air.
That'd be a sleigh.
For
I would get myself an iPad that you have, whatever one that is.
9th generation 2021.
Yeah, sure.
It's so slow.
It's just nice because I know what it's like.
Mm-hmm.
But I also don't know if I would use I'd probably use a laptop more. I kind of want to just get an iPad just to have an iPad, but I feel like I would never use it.
So fair. I literally use my iPad
Because you
all
use it
day,
for
every
art
day,
and
for
drawing.
everything. I use it for fucking everything.
Which is great, like that you get good use out of it. How have you been, babe?
Whatever. That's exactly what I said to you earlier as well when you asked
So
me how my
whatever.
mental health been lately.
We were chatting.
I've been chilling. I wish I could breathe and talk, but like whatever.
Don't we
You know
all?
what I mean?
I think we all wish we could breathe and talk.
Please. Yeah, I've just been chilling. I've been playing so much Breath of the Wild, and I've
Guys,
just
we won't go into it because don't want to be those annoying bitches. But they just released the trailer for the second Zelda game for anyone who's interested in the Zelda game. Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. It's like,
oh my god, I really want to like talk about that for fucking year. I want to talk to a Zelda theorist about it. I just want to like have a chat with somebody who knows Zelda. But yeah, I've just been playing a lot of Nintendo generally.
fun, very fun stuff.
Getting back into that. I've been reading a bunch lately as well, which is really nice. What the fuck have I been doing?
working as well, I guess.
Yeah,
That's
I've
a
been
majority.
working, girl. I've been a working girl in a working world.
A
That's fun.
working girl and a
Yeah.
skirking girl.
I can't tell how quiet I am because I have the headphones on, so I can hear myself. Can you hear me okay in real life?
Yeah.
Oh,
And plus, I'm looking at the levels, and it's fine. You don't need to be talking louder anyway, because you have your mic pretty close. So it's like at a good level, I think.
Hey
I just
guys,
wanted to say
welcome.
a thought
shit.
that occurred to me
That was
a
so
while
loud,
ago
sorry.
when we were on a walk, and it's the most random. This is just completely like out of any context to whatever we were talking about. But the fact that there's only 3 years between the ages of 12 and 15 is so criminal.
No, I think about that often. The
It
fact
should
that
be
there's
like
only 3 years
5
between.
years.
Sure, James
The fact
is
that
only
you could be 12 in primary school, then 3 years later you're halfway through secondary school doing your junior cert.
James
Incorrect.
is 3 years older than me. That's like, because see, if you know James, then I feel like you kind of get this, but he seems like such like an older person to me.
He does, yeah. I'd place him in his late 50s.
No, I was gonna say like straight up. I like always think that James is like 28.
Yeah,
29.
I was going to say
don't know
late
why.
20s.
But he's 23. I'm 20.
That is crazy. I always forget he's so young.
It's the same with Dylan though. Like I think Dylan's like fucking 27, 28 as well, but he's 21.
Dylan, I could see it more, but James,
Dylan
I do
is
think could be-
22. Oh yeah, 20. He was born in 2000.
But then what age is Kitty?
Kitty is 27.
She's not finally 29 yet.
Girl,
Finally 29.
Why didn't you follow through, fag?
I want to let you embarrass yourself.
Listen, I have to go to work later and talk to customers like that. And talk to customers.
You have to do your Cali girl voice. You figured out that if you speak in a Cali girl
If
voice,
I talk like this, then my voice cracks a lot less because I sound just like Crystal Method.
I'm
I'm Crystal Method. I'm a look queen. I'm a comedy queen. Anyways.
But again, I think we were just saying that we're just gonna have another chill episode.
Yeah, I don't
T-Day.
have anything to say though.
I have everything to say always.
Will I do an audiobook of The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess Manga issue 1?
Yeah, except that we would get copyright struck
Sorry.
and physically struck by Nintendo.
That's something that one of our old friends used to say that all the time. Where like if she'd get mad at us, she'd be like, "I will strike you," and
That
that's
is
so
hilarious.
fucking funny. I will strike you. Can my managers please get back onto me immediately? Anyways,
I'm just trying to catch up. To be honest, it's been one of those weeks where, when did we record last week? What day? Tuesday, I think.
who fucking knows?
Last week was truly a fever dream of the highest proportions for me.
Really? Why?
Just because it was super, super busy in work, and I was in the midst of
You were working
chaos.
last week. When
Yeah.
when was your last day?
My last day was on Saturday.
Lies.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
No, that's weird.
It feels like last week was 2 weeks ago.
It really fucking
It's one of
does.
those times. One of those
Yeah.
gigs.
It really is. It feels like last week was about 3 years ago.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where the weeks go by.
I think I was the same because I was off the first 2 days and then I was
Yeah.
working. Oh my god, I was working the rest of the week, so I just feel like the entire week was either super quick, that's so
Super
quick that
fun,
it didn't
yeah.
happen, or so long that it was everything leading up to that week. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's weird. But I feel like we've been... Oh yeah, that's what I was just going to say. It feels like 17 years since the last episode.
17.
Because I do remember on the last episode what I was saying. Oh yeah, because the last episode I was crumply physically. Remember? Because after work I
yeah.
was like death.
Did we record that here? Oh no, we
Recorded at mine.
yeah,
But,
you came over.
I
and played
have
Mario Kart.
recovered since, and I've gone a sleigh.
Yeah, dude, was that just like
I think it was just stress.
Yeah.
Literally, like, I realized because I was like, oh yeah, it's physical fatigue, and then I was like, oh, it's simply also stress.
like my titties are hurting and like my arms are hurting and my back is hurting, but only because I done such an aggressive workout yesterday.
I feel like you can kind of tell if you know your body well enough. I suppose you can kind of tell.
It's like a good kind of pain because
You can tell the
worked out
difference
really
between
well.
like pain from like exercising or just pain from like physical fatigue or like stress pain. Because when I get like stress pain, I get it always on like my shoulders and neck. A lot of the time, and like back.
Sorry, I was yawning because I found you boring.
I feel this is a very ASMR vibe. We're talking so quiet because I think because you're talking quiet, I'm also talking quiet.
Yeah, definitely, I'd say so.
But yeah, I've
Guys, is this relaxing? Are you having a panic attack?
Hey, if you're
If you're having a panic
anxious-
attack, LOL.
if you're feeling anxious, don't be. You're
Just
fine.
smile. Go for a walk. Oh, I never made us our tea.
Oh yeah, we can have it after. Do you know what? Let's get into it.
What?
Mental health. No, I'm kidding. We're gonna save that for a 3-part docu-series.
We're gonna save that for a 3-part docu-series when I can talk.
I will say, can I say something? controversial yet brave. It's not controversial yet brave. I just feel like people have a lot of mixed opinions with it, which is fair. Is you know the way people are always like, go outside and like exercise.
I know exactly what you're gonna say.
When people need like intense therapy. While you do need to go to therapy and talk it out. Like the shit you get from exercising actually mentally is very good. I mean, it's scientifically proven as well.
Genuinely, like when I picked up doing yoga and just like a small little home workouts every single day, like my entire life changed immediately.
Yeah, like I love doing yoga now because it's also a routine thing. But I think it's just that connotation that like people have, because there is people who are like, I have issues that I need to talk about, and they're like, but if you had a cup of tea and you went for a walk, you would be cured.
But like, it's true. Like,
in the way that it helps.
It does definitely help. It kind of spurs things on because it's literally just taking care of yourself, and then you feel
it's
good,
just
you know
doing something for yourself, But I actually want to get into a little fun since we're on the topic. I'm going to get into this serious stuff. No, I want to talk about something that I was reading about recently because I think it's an interesting conversation and I want to hear like your kind of takes on it. I was saying this to you, like I was briefly going on about it earlier when we were on our walk, but when we were on our walk, I feel like we're two 40-year-old women catching up, and I love it.
Honestly, that's what it feels
we're
like.
We just put the kids to bed, and now we're doing our mom's weekly.
Just drop the kids off at the swimming pool.
Drop them in the pool. They're drowning. They don't know how to swim.
Have fun in hell.
In hell.
There's an Animal Crossing villager, and if you get her on your island when you start your island, it's just like a really boring basic house. But if she moves onto your island, not being one of your starter villagers, it's literally hell. Like the wallpaper is flames, the floor is flames, all of her things are like fire.
She said I'm an anarchist and a Satanist.
She's just a bird. She's an ostrich.
Oh my god, please tell that story of that man. Remember the person outside the church when you turned around and you were like, he was like, what are you looking at?
What?
Will I tell it?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Remember you were telling me the story of like you were like looking at yeah, that one. Tell that one because I thought that was so funny. I was saying it to a kid.
I can't remember what I said to him though.
I do. I think you were like, it was. Well, explain the story first.
Okay, so I was walking past a cathedral in Cork the other day, and it's so beautiful. I love looking in there because it's just so fucking beautiful. But I was thinking about something really controversial that I'm not going to get into. A huge like group had just come out of a mass, I think, and the guy who I guess he was the priest or whatever, he was locking up the door after, and he saw me staring at me. He saw me staring at him, and I can't remember what he said. I have no idea what
Wasn't
he
he
said.
like, what are you looking at or something?
Yeah, he said
what's your
something-
problem or something?
He said something like rude. Like I was just looking at the church, you know what I mean? And he said something fucking rude to me anyways.
Yeah.
Because normally I wouldn't be the kind of person to say this to somebody, but it was the fact that it was a fucking Catholic priest looking me dead in the eyes and saying something rude to me in public.
Enrages your Catholic
Drama,
yeah.
So he said something really rude to me, and what did I say? I can't remember.
I think
know-
you said,
I know
what you
the
said to me,
vibe.
it was like you turned around and you were like, I live and bleed for Satan.
Yeah. I looked him dead in the eyes and said, I live and bleed for Satan, and he just fucking stood there with his mouth ajar. And I
It's
was
so
like,
funny what
wow.
like we'll get like really like stringent Catholic people, and not like I go around doing it to like, because not all Catholic people are bad, but the ones that are like uptight and use religion for the wrong reasons.
That's
The
it.
shit that will get them going so easily is so funny. Like you just turn around and be like, love Satan X.
No, literally drinking a
Logan.
can of Monster.
So funny. Did you see that like Catholic conspiracy thing
That's
about
so
that where it's
funny.
like, if you turn it upside down and inside out, it means like 666.
It's so funny to me that went.
Girl, calm down. The devil's making a profit if he's running Monster.
Wait 1 sec, I have to reply to Katie really quick.
Finally, twin. Well, I'm going to keep talking.
Go for it.
So what I was going to say about my thing that I wanted to talk about was I was reading this book by Brene Brown. It's called Atlas of the Heart. I would recommend Brene Brown to anyone who wants to just read about like self-help-esque kind of things. It's a lot about like what would you categorize like, so you don't know Brene Brown, but it's like it's all just about like working on yourself, I guess, and like, but she covers a lot of different areas, but she's like a shame researcher, and she got into like writing books because of this whole like moment that she had for herself. Anyways, I won't get too much into her backstory, but she has a book that I'm reading at the moment called Atlas of the Heart, and I really like it because it's literally just like, it's like 83 or something moments, like human experiences and emotions that basically she just like details them through, and she puts them up into sections like places we go with other people, and it's like comparative suffering, pity, empathy, and you like she goes through them and like the definitions and like experiences with them, and it's really interesting for me, and I like reading it. But anyways, what I wanted to talk about, because she was talking about it in it, was boundaries, and like boundaries in relationships and stuff, because she was talking about it in the book, and it got me thinking, because I was thinking about it myself with the situation that I had like semi recently, like a few days ago. It wasn't even a situation, but it was like a mental situation for myself, because I was like, yeah, and then I was like, I need to like be alone. Social batteries are running low.
Very.
And it was that thing of like,
understandable.
where I was like with me, and she was like, oh, do you want me to like stay, or will you go, or will I just like head home? And then I was like, can you go home? I'm sorry, I'm just feeling anxious. And then I was like, I need to like, I want to like get better at being able to be like more confident in my boundaries, because that's what apparently like, and I think it is a really good thing, because like all the stuff that I've seen when it comes to like, when they're like, oh, what's mental health advice or whatever, it's like people always say like boundaries is like life changing for like relationships, especially.
I can tell you,
because it's like compassionate boundaries
from an intense experience. That's very true. That is very, very true. Boundaries are something that are so important that I don't think enough people have boundaries, and I don't think people
we're
who do have
taught,
boundaries, I don't think they have enough boundaries.
I don't think we're taught that boundaries are a good thing. That's the issue, because that's what she was, when she was reading about it in the book. I was like, yeah,
well, because I mean, boundary is something that like holds you out of something and holds you back.
Yeah,
from
and we're not
something,
used to. And it was interesting because she was saying about it in the book. She was saying like what we think when someone puts up a boundary is like, oh, they're like taking away our right to feel or think. Whereas if they talk about like what it means and what's the issue, then it becomes more obvious that like their issue isn't obviously like you're not allowed to feel or think. It's the way you express it. Like it was the whole. She gave examples where it's like you can be angry, but it's okay to be angry, but it's not okay to like slam your hand on the table and shout at people. It's okay to be blah blah blah.
Unless you're me.
Unless you're you.
I
Unless
would love to
you're
get
doing it
angry
for
and,
a
like,
play,
fucking
one man play.
kick through a wall. I want to break down a
But
wall. Like
it's like that thing where I do think as well, we're like, oh, excuse me, not raised to like on a kind of societal level. I feel like, because obviously it varies, and I think it's also a thing where you teach your children, like you have to, like anything, teach people about boundaries and stuff.
Girl, had I learned.
But I think it is a thing where, because like you were saying, I think that's a common thing where like boundaries are like weird for a lot of people, like even including myself, obviously, because I'm only human. Of just that thing of like your own kind of like insecurities, or like the connotation that boundaries have. I feel like
That's
in relationships that like
connotation.
people are think like, oh, you're like being like, it's almost like a mean thing, or like, oh, it must have a reflection on me kind of thing. It's like interesting, because I feel like us as a kind of a lot of like in general, I think boundaries don't have that. We're not like taught that they're the benefits of them, let's say, as much.
Real quick, I'm hyper aware of the fact that anybody listening can hear my fucking nasal breathing.
I was gonna say about your feet.
Oh no, they can't hear that at all.
That'll work.
I'm twitching my feet because I have
That's what I was just gonna say. If you can hear
AT.
rubbing, it's Connor's feet.
or if you can hear this.
But also, or this. Hey, we're fidgety people.
Sorry, I literally need to crack my bones every 25 seconds. What was I gonna say?
On the dot. Your nasal breathing.
No, not the. Oh yeah, I'm very aware of the fact that you can all hear my. That you can all hear my breathing.
ASMR.
No, like hold on. I keep doing this at the mic.
Stop. That's so funny.
That's why I keep holding the mic like away from me.
Yeah, because I was gonna say to you a minute ago, because you were doing that, but you were holding the mic so close to you, and I was like, not you trying to catch the breathing in 4K.
No, like, that's it. Like,
That's so funny.
I can hear it sometimes because I have the headphones on, and I'm like, sorry guys.
Oh, it's fine. Listen,
remember-
Connor's sick. If you bitches want to complain, you can come and cure his illness and pay for his doctor's appointment.
Why is it always me?
Why is it always me?
What's that? Neville Longbottom.
What?
Why is it always me?
Not me.
How's
Not
it gonna-
Hermione. You.
Oh yeah, I remember I tried putting up boundaries with one of my friends in like early secondary school, and she called me selfish, and I was like, girl, selfish.
Yeah, that's
for
what I'm
having
saying. There's like a
boundaries.
connotation with it, because I feel like we're not taught. Because like I didn't even know that. Like, I wasn't like that aware of like the kind of, you know, how good they can be and like that kind of a thing, and like the more positive aspects of them when I was like, you know, a teenager or something. Like if some, because it's like your own like, it's like the bad connotation, also your own insecurity that like you think if someone's putting up boundaries with you, they're like, oh, it must be a problem with me, or they're just being like bad. But it's all it's also just like you need the kind of you just kind of need the like.
If you hear a crack bang alakazam, it's because I'm trying to open up a fucking throat soothing what are these called? Cough drop?
Yeah, whatever they're. You're doing it over the mic, bitch. Let's give it a moment for the ASMR.
That sounds so stunning. Hold on.
That sounds stunning from over here.
Let me fold it. I'm gonna crinkle this paper for you guys.
We better upload that 10-second clip to our new ASMR channel. It's a joke ASMR.
My mouth is gonna get real wet for a second.
Oh,
Because I'm gonna be putting in. I'm gonna
come
be
on,
eating a
dude.
delicious menthol cough drop, and it makes me so sad.
Also, if you can hear background sounds of constructions, it's because we're living in a construction site.
Yeah. There are
There's construction constantly going on for what, the last, I want to say, almost a year now.
Apparently it's gonna go on for another 2 years.
Right next to Connor's apartment, like right outside the window, 10 feet from his window, there's massive construction going
I
on.
wouldn't even see.
Don't know how you
10
even
feet.
survive, honestly.
I wouldn't even say it's 10 feet. I'd say it's like fucking 4 max. Like truly.
It's like 2 people worth away.
Yeah, genuine. It's really fucking. It's upsettingly close.
It's so bad.
Girl, they start at like 7 in the morning too. That's why I'm always up and in action at 7 a.m.
You just don't have a choice. But what I was gonna say was, oh yeah, it's just like that whole thing of like, you kind of forget how good they can be. Because I think for myself as well, my experience, I was, if someone like tried to put up boundaries, or if I was trying to put up boundaries, it would always be it would always be a thing. Because boundaries even are as simple, I feel like, as like, oh, I need to like go home, or like that kind of a thing, like social kind of like taking care of your own social battery, which I think a lot of people struggle with. Because even myself, like,
So important.
when I was saying it with like me at that time, I was like, she didn't mind at all, because she like knows like the vibe or whatever, and she's the same of like, if she needs to go home, she needs to go home. But I myself was like, oh my god, I'm being such like a bad friend, like I'm so bad, but you say you need to get, whereas you just have to kind of break down the like. And I wonder why do you think it is that like we have such a, because I feel like there's definitely something that it is kind of obvious to why we have such an issue with boundaries, or why we're taught to have like an
when
issue.
we're growing up as kids in school and both like at home and like from TV and things like that, we're constantly being told to keep our minds open and to try everything and to do all these things and to like have good experiences. So that kind of like forces all the boundaries to be put down, because you're like, if I want to live a happy and successful life and like a flourishing life, I have to do all these great things for myself, you know what I mean? Well, I feel like that's definitely what it was for me anyways, and I had this weird problem. It's also people pleasing. I can't say no to
I do
people.
think it's also trying to find a like connection with people.
Obviously it's subjective to the person, like
Exactly, yeah.
just
Obviously not
generally.
everyone's the same, but I do think it's like a general kind of, it's interesting to see like the general kind of view on boundaries or whatever. I feel like it's being like, I don't know, I think, yeah, for me it's more of a, it's like a finding the connection thing, and then like an insecurity thing maybe of like friendships and stuff, where when you do put up boundaries, it's like, what's wrong with me that they're putting a boundary, like whatever. It's like that whole catastrophic overthinking.
That's actually kind of why I used to have no boundaries as well, because I was like,
'Cause
I
you
don't
don't want
want
to, like,
people to have a problem with me.
Yeah, you're trying to be like the knights, and that's the other thing. I think it's also because that's why like what she talks about in the book is how like you can't like be compassionate kind of without boundaries, because you need to set the distance so you can like help yourself and help that person. Like it was actually really interesting the way she was putting it. She was talking about like empathy and like how. Also, PSA, sorry if this isn't like riveting conversation, but I just like talking about like stuff like this. I think it's interesting to me.
I think you should shut up and look how stunning Zelda is in this picture.
Slay. She looks like what she looks like in Smash Bros.
That's the Smash Bros. Zelda. Anyways, sorry. Brief intermission.
What I was just gonna say was she was talking about empathy, and she was like, you can't, like, if you don't have like enough like distance between like kind of yourself and like I don't know if it was her paraphrasing someone or if it was herself who said it, but like she was like, if you don't have enough like space kind of, or like the boundaries for like having empathy, it becomes more like enmeshment, where you're like too involved in that person's problems.
Becomes more what?
Like enmeshment.
What the fuck is that?
Do you know when you like enmesh with something, you get like tangled up in something?
No, I've never heard.
You've never heard?
No. What a disgusting.
Me for once knowing a word that you don't, because Connor's a poet, so he'll know like subli and booby loo.
Just pure Zimlish. Me learning the word epic for the first time.
Oh, you said I heard it. I'm gonna roll with it.
Epic being EPOCH, not
Yeah.
EPIC.
I thought it was epoch as well.
Epic.
No.
Did you ever? Oh, you never saw SpongeBob. There was an episode where they were trying to explain what evil is, and they had an anagram for evil, and they said EVIL. Every villain is lemons. So funny. Every villain is lemons, guys.
But anyways, enmeshment is like when you get like tangled up in something. So she was saying like, you know, if you don't have, and I thought it was just interesting because she was like, if you don't have like the distance kind of, or like the separation that you need when you're like trying to like be there for someone with their experience, you can kind of get like tangled up in it yourself and then project your own kind of like, that's what I was taking from it, like put your own issues in instead of like being like at a more like boundary distance where you can be helpful for the person then, and you're not like inserting yourself into it.
That's exactly what destroyed my friendship with my first best friend in secondary school, you know what I mean? Because like we both just ended up getting tangled in each other's problems, and then we had no way out, and we just ended having so much conflict. And I think that's what I mean, I feel like that probably happens in a lot of friendships, especially when you're younger, because you don't know yourself, girl. You don't know yourself, let alone and you anyone else. Make sure the people you care about are okay, you know what I mean? Yeah. Sounds like I'm crying over this, but I'm not. I just can't talk.
You just have a... But yeah, I just thought that was interesting. And she had a quote from it, which was kind of cool, which was like...
He real, he ill, he might got a deal.
She quotes Nikki.
The right kind of bill.
And she would. No, there was a quote from it. It wasn't from her. She just had a quote from... Because that's what I like about her books. She obviously takes from a lot of different research and people and writings and stuff. But it was a quote. I can't remember where the quote is from. But it was just from this person. And it was like... boundaries are the distance from which I can love you and myself. So it's like having the healthy distance.
Like that woman on the phone today who said, "I'll meet you halfway." Right at the borderline.
But anyways, I just want to go on that little rant because I don't know if this is like boring for people, but also it is what it is. Most vulnerable. I think it's just interesting to talk about. It fascinates me to talk about like different human concepts like that, and like emotional and like mental kind of health concepts, and with relationships is always so interesting. There's so much going on. We're so complex, yet we're so stupid.
I feel like there's a capillary in my neck, or if you're American, a capillary. Shut the fuck up, it's capillary.
Get over it, American. Stop taking away the U just because you... Oh, I was about to come for all of America there.
The U? Oh, as in like color?
Yeah, get a grip.
Got it. Yeah, but I feel like there's a capillary in my neck that's just about to explode and make me bleed everywhere.
Oh, work. And you need to set a boundary with that capillary. You say, excuse me, I don't find it very nice that you're about to give me a blood clot.
I think it'd be better if you didn't hurt me so much, capillary. Mr. Capillary in my neck.
Mr. Capillary in my neck sounds like the newest Chloe Moriando song.
Remember, so true. Remember the poem I wrote called Mr. Balloon Man? That's really bad. It's actually not really bad. I can't remember. I think it's in my book.
What we should do one day, one episode, if y'all want this, let us know. I think it'd be fun. Is you should do like a poetry reading.
Yeah, I would love to do a poetry reading.
Do a few excerpts from
maybe
your book.
When I release my second book, we can do a special episode. That'd be cool. Where I just explain my poetry and shit.
Yeah,
we should have done that for your
I could like put
EP.
in some of my songs.
Yeah, we do a little mishmash.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Because I could just insert some of my songs in between. Let us know if you want a more like artsy, hilarious fun, kind of like it'd be kind of a cool, interesting vibe for an episode, very different to what we normally have, I suppose. Whoa. I kind of like that though, because it used to stress me out. This podcast, for being the crackery that it is, it's actually like taught me a lot about just like, especially perfectionism, because I'm a very perfectionist person. You wouldn't guess it if you knew me.
I wonder why. I've never...
My favorite joke actually at the moment that I kept saying was when I was overthinking stuff. I'm like, in my head to myself, I'm like, it's so interesting I'm overthinking this because I've never overthought anything before. No, it's such a foreign concept to me. But I'm very much a perfectionist, but I feel like this podcast and the nature of like how it is has taught me to be like a lot more like go with the flow, which is nice because I need that.
To quote Rita Ora, let's just go with the flow. We've been working all week. Tomorrow doesn't matter when we're moving our feet because it's all about tonight.
I mean, listen, and who said it better?
I added that song to my playlist the other day, and it's so funny because like most of the playlist is really sad, like piano ballads, and then just All About Tonight by Pixie Lott. Did I say Rita Ora? I meant Pixie Lott.
No, where is she?
Rita Ora or Pixie Lott?
Pixie Lott.
Because I saw Rita Ora.
We know where Rita Ora is, but I've not heard Pixie Lott in ages.
Let me Google real quick because I know Charlotte by who is it? Charlotte by somebody else. I know she's back on the scene.
Yeah, she has re-emerged recently. I
See,
think
but like all of her TikToks are really
but
funny
I'm
because
really
all of
confused
her
what
TikToks.
age is Cher Lloyd? Because she looks 20, but
she
she's
looks-
not. Isn't
but-
she like 40?
I don't know. I'm gonna check. But it's so funny to me because all of her TikToks are her being like, "I'm the one who sang Swagger Jagger," and they're like, "We know."
We know, girl.
Cher Lloyd
We've seen what you've done.
is 29.
Oh, work. So she was really young though, because wasn't her music out when we were younger?
Yeah, I think she was like 16 or something.
That's crazy.
Pixie Lot.
Pixie Lott.
I have a very specific. I've never seen Pixie Lot's face.
Let me see. I don't know if I've seen Pixie Lott's face either.
I have a very specific memory of being in a recording
Oh,
studio.
I have seen her. Because
recording Pixie
her
Lott
and
songs.
Ellie Goulding morph into the same person for me.
That's-
Love me like you do.
That's insane that her and Ellie Goulding. Although I guess it's the same as me calling every single time I talk about Lana Del Rey, I call her Lady Gaga.
That
When
is
I'm talking about
vile.
Lady Gaga, I call her Lana
Not
Del
vile.
Rey.
That's not even what I meant to say.
I
That is
bought a
wild.
new pair of shoes.
What I was gonna say was,
Wait, I'm gonna go onto Pixie Lott's Instagram and see what's going on.
what I was gonna say was, oh yeah, but like to do that poetry, let us know if you want to do that one, because that'd be fun. And that's what I
Love
was
to
getting
do
to
that.
is that that would usually like stress me out because they'd be like, it's not like the same as our usual stuff. But I'm like, let's do everything and anything.
I
You know
just
what I mean?
lied to you. I know exactly what Pixie Lott looks like.
Yeah,
Very well.
I
in
definitely
fact.
know what she looks like.
Oh my god, she got married.
Congrats, girl.
She got married on the 10th of June.
She is that a?
That's a guy. That's Oliver. That's
Oh, I thought it was.
the most British name, Oliver
I
Cheshire.
thought she was slaying for a second with the LGBTQ plus community.
No. Somebody paid for my pint at work the other day, but they didn't pay for the one of the other staff that I was with. And then we left, and she looked me dead in the eyes, and she was like, "That was very LGBT of him."
But what it was, oh yeah, but I want to do that. I kind of want this podcast now because that's what I was saying. I used to be super like perfectionist and it would like bother me. I'd be like, oh, we have to have the theme, but now I just want this podcast to be anything and everything. Like, let's conquer the world kind of thing.
Girl,
Like, let's do the
what I-
most artsy, like chill episodes and then the most crackety crooky episodes.
that's what I thought it
Break
was
the
going to be.
boundaries.
That's
Well, that
what
is what it's going to be, but in my head, like, I have obviously my own part when I'm like, oh my god, it's not working, like
'Cause you're a
overthinking,
psychopath.
perfection. But that's what I'm saying. This,
I didn't mean to whisper that entire sentence. I said, "'Cause you're a psychopath."
because you're a psycho. But that's what I'm saying. This podcast has helped me a lot because I'm just like, it allows me to like chill the fuck out a bit. Where I'm like, let's just do whatever. Girl.
Honestly, so true. I mean, it's good for me as well because it just like it lets me ground myself for an hour and just not have to worry and think about things.
I also do really like it because the structure of it, like even when I have the most wild week, whenever we like come back to like
Sorry.
record this, it's like nice for me because I can like compartmentalize things and be like, oh, here's what happened in the last week.
Mhm.
So it gives it more of a, like a structure as well. I just feel like a fierce fish out of water and into the limelight when we're doing this.
Guys, I cannot wait until I'm able to like do incredible like world-stopping digital art. I cannot wait until that point.
What's holding you back right now again?
Just nothing. It's literally just like my skill set at the moment.
Yeah, but you're already
Like, I
doing
can't wait
incredible
till I can do shit
world-stopping
like this.
stuff.
You know what I mean?
You're able to do the major. Guys, check out Connor. We linked them in the episode description, but check out Connor's art. His Majora's Mask
Like, are you
fucking
kidding me?
art play. Yeah, that is sickening. But your Majora's Mask art. Connor
really
drew
do like
Majora's
that.
Mask from The Legend of Zelda. From The Legend of Zelda lore, and it's sickening.
I drew the little skull kid, and
It's so
he's
cool.
saying, "You've met with a terrible fate, haven't you?" Even though, yes, Zelda fans, I know it wasn't the skull kid who said that. I know it was the Happy Mask salesman. Please, please, please.
The one diehard Zelda fans like, wow, I'm unsubscribing.
No, they fucking will. They'd be like, the skull kid did not say that.
It's
I'm
like
"What?"
It's the same
why I
concept as
made-
when, because when we were talking about the episode with, when we were talking about the internet episode with Kit, you should check that out. That was a very fun episode actually. I liked recording that.
was.
It was episode 15, I think.
15.
It was part 2 of the Age of the Internet with our friend Kit, and I was talking about that with them before it because I was like, oh my god, if we talk about like K-pop, because you know it's like infamous if you say it's like one of those like fandoms that can be like can kind of come down like harshly, kind of like any
Hellfire,
fandom,
Rainfire.
like anything really. And Kate was like, they were like, you will always have like one K-pop fan listening.
Oh my god.
They were like, you will always have like one K-pop fan like listening in the audience or whatever. And I feel like we always have one K-pop fan like listening in the audience, and you'll always have one diehard Zelda fan.
I think
And they're
there's-
both gonna get mad.
No, for real. Like, I want to meet another Zelda fan. Like, 2 of the managers at work are Zelda fans. and that's like kind of fun. But I've talked to them so much about Zelda that I feel like that's the only thing I've talked to them about. And I don't want to be that person, so I want to like find someone probably on like Discord or Reddit or something.
Yeah, you could probably like go into a
just who I
forum
could
or
talk
something
to.
for Zelda.
You know what? I'm just gonna join a fucking
Group
Zelda
chat.
Discord and be
Yeah.
like, hey, let's talk about Zelda, guys.
And everyone's
They're
gonna
like,
say,
we've been doing it for
"Are
years,
you Connor
please.
Boots?"
They're gonna say, you're the guy who only talks about Zelda.
On the Zelda Discord.
They'd be like, you're the one who's hyper fixating on Zelda, and I'll say, that's me. I say, yep,
But it's
that's
not
me.
really hyperfixation at this point, is it?
I mean, I've grown up playing Zelda my entire life. So
that's what I'm saying. How do you? Okay, interesting question. Because I was going to ask this in the last podcast. I think it was the last podcast where we were talking about it, or maybe the one before, when we were like, not the ASMR girl.
I like doing
Because
that
we were
with my
talking about
lips.
Zelda. It was the last podcast episode because we were talking about Zelda, how much we like it, and you were like, "Oh, I thought it was a hyperfixation, but I guess it's just something I like right now." How do you like distinguish yourself between like, what's the difference for you between like something you're hyperfixating on, or just something that you like, or that's
So,
your hobby? Because obviously, like music, for instance, is not like a hyperfixation. It's like something
Yeah.
that you regularly love and do and have been doing for years.
Like, say, Animal Crossing. That's not a hyperfixation because I've liked it my entire life and I
Yeah.
continue to like it. And like, I don't go in and out of phases of liking it. I'll always like it. Obviously,
Oh,
I go in and out of phases of being like super into it and
obsessed with
stuff.
it, yeah.
But then say like Andy Warhol or something, that's hyperfixation for me because like out of nowhere I just had this insane swelling urge to like take in all of his art and like learn everything about him, and then I
Mm.
did that, and now that I know all that, I'm like done. Same
Well,
with like,
actually,
same
before
like
we
puppetry.
go on,
I
do
know
you want to
a lot about
explain to
puppetry.
people like what a hyperfixation is in case people don't know?
So
It's a common thing with like
I love that you asked me and then started
Sorry.
going on.
Oh no, I was just gonna preface being saying it's like a common thing with like neurodivergent people, like I think
Mhm.
especially ADHD, but also autism,
For sure.
and also I think everyone can have like hyperfixations. It's
no,
just
it's a just general
it's-
human thing overall.
it's
but
a general
obviously
human thing, but it's more
it's
specific
amplified.
to like ADHD and kind of
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
It's amplified depending on like your mental state and your.
And like if neurodivergent people can have
yeah.
like amplified hyperfixations.
But basically, see, like a hyperfixation for me would be like, I'll suddenly get like this wild, insane interest. Oh, perfect. I was watching an Animal Crossing YouTuber the other day because she's so fucking funny.
Is
name
that
is-
the clip you showed me with Sherry?
Yeah.
Fucking.
I
Have we
hate
mentioned Sherry
Sherry.
on the podcast?
I'm sure I've mentioned Sherry on this podcast.
I won't
fucking
detract you from what you're saying with Sherry.
hate
We'll get back to
Sherry.
her.
Guys,
in a
if you
minute.
play Animal Crossing, I need to tell you this. I almost had
Burn down
Ione-
your whole island if you get Cherry.
burn down your whole island. Please be
Take her with
prepared
you.
for hellfire. Same with Sherb. Same with Sherb. Oh my god. And Goose. Fucking Goose. I'm gonna kill everybody. But if you get oh, I almost got Ione on my island, the fucking glow in the dark squirrel, and she almost kicked out Sherry, but she fucking didn't, and I'm so
She tried to
mad.
kick out Jambet, your bestie.
She tried to kick out my
your
stoner bestie.
Jambet.
Why'd you say that? But yeah, for me, a hyperfixation is not So I was watching the Animal
I'm
Crossing
gonna let you
YouTuber.
explain when I get a drink.
Okay. Oh, give me your mic so I can hold it.
Oh, actually, I'll just hold it.
Oh, I thought you were leaving the room.
Oh no, I'm just opening my naked smithy.
I got naked in the shop.
Oh my god, sorry, side point. I
I
know
was
we keep
thinking about this
detracting from what
entire
you're saying,
time.
but I can't remember if I mentioned this on the podcast before, but I remember with my cousin the fucking naked smoothie that you can get in shops. So the most 12-year-old thing ever, but we got one before when we were like 11 or 12, and then we were like screaming, we were like, I got naked.
That's so funny.
We're hilarious. You really
Like,
think you're a comedian, 12-year-old
Comedy
me.
queens. But so yeah. A psycho killer. I was watching the Animal Crossing video, and it's an hour and a half long video about a villager hunt. And this YouTuber does have ADHD, and she like talks about it all the time. But for most of the hour and a half episode, she talked about Egyptology, and it just stemmed because the character she was looking for is fucking an Egyptian cat. What are they called? Sphinx.
Sphinx, yeah.
Who's that? Yeah, Sphinx. She's a Sphinx.
Sphinx Monsoon.
Sphinx. That's so funny. Fucking yeah. So she was looking for her, and then for the entire episode, she was just talking about Egyptology. And
Is there a Sphinx in Animal Crossing? That's sickening.
yeah, her name's Anka. She's sickening.
Slay.
She's always frowning. But she was for the entire hour and a half episode, she kept on just talking about Egyptology. But she said that it was like something that she didn't really like know anything about. Then one day she woke up.
Said, I must learn all.
She woke up and she thought about mummies and she started crying. And her husband was like, "What's wrong?" And she explained all this. It's a thing just like personally with her, like how her brain works, whatever.
Yeah.
She just gets super emotional over things really easily. And she was like, she thought about mummies and she started crying. And her husband was like, are you okay? Is everything alright? And she was like, I'm 26 and I've never seen a mummy. And ever since then, she just like learned a fuck ton about Egyptology, learned everything there is to know about Egyptology, and then she moved on. You know what I mean? So that's like kind of what a hyperfixation is to me. Like I'm trying to think of like a good one for myself that I have, because like I feel like true crime is a hyperfixation for me, because I like know everything about so many true crime cases. Like I go in depth, learn every single fucking detail, and then I don't talk about it with anybody. It's just like a thing that I know for myself, and then I never look at it again until I get back.
I think
into,
that's
like,
just a good way to describe it. That example of hers, just like from what I know, and like seen from like you or like other examples of it, it's just like you wake up one day and you're like, I need to learn all about this, and I will not be satisfied until I learn enough about it to be satisfied.
Like,
and it's always about like a specific topic usually, or like an area.
Yeah, but like right now I'm hyperfixating on The Legend of Zelda, but it's not a hyperfixation overall
because it's something you played
that I have liked and I will like, you know what I mean? But like
you're
right
specifically intensely focused on it.
It's the
like,
only thing I can think about, because it's the most prevalent thing in my life. I
it's
suppose like
interesting. I suppose to distinguish between stuff. Kind of, I guess hyperfixations also
archery.
Usually are like short-lived.
Archery, that's it. They're short-lived. Like archery was one of them. I learned fucking everything there is to know about archery. I used to be so.
I love archery. I want to be like Katniss Everdeen so bad.
I've never told you that. I don't think I've ever told anyone, because it's just a thing in my life that just happened. You know what I mean? I used to be so good at archery, like insane.
Damn, I always wanted to be like Katniss Everdeen.
And I fucking I think I said it to Mia the other day, and she wasn't shocked, which kind of scared me. But
it's Mia.
I was a fucking 3rd degree black belt in Taekwondo, which is hilarious.
That is hilarious. What age?
Oh, girl, it was when I was at the end of like maybe 3rd year.
You were doing Taekwondo up to 3rd year?
Yeah.
And you were 3rd degree black belt?
Yeah. It was really weird.
Do you know any of it now still?
Girl, not at all. Probably.
Which one is Taekwondo? What's like the main focus in Taekwondo?
I could not tell you.
Is it because karate self-defense? And then there's like also jujitsu, which is more wrestling type.
I just see them all as really pretty interpretive dances. Not me completely diminishing. I couldn't tell you. Like that's the thing. Like I learned so much about Taekwondo, but it's all gone. You know what I mean?
She's gone.
Same with archery. Like I learned so much about archery, and I was such a good archer. But if I picked up a bow and arrow today, I wouldn't be able to tell you the first thing about it, except where's my bomb arrow.
Where? Not you committing fucking acts of crime.
What's it called when you bomb a place? Because like, you know, there's arson.
Terrorism.
Sure.
I feel like
like artillery. What's artillery?
No, artillery is like war stuff.
Right.
Like if you're like talking about artillery, it's like war, like like war bombs and like tanks and stuff.
So true.
You know, war bombs.
Yeah, war bombs.
Just a technical term. But yeah, I just thought it was because I was thinking about that when you were talking about Zelda the other day, because I don't really get that much hyperfixations.
I've got a few. I did have a huge hyperfixation on Emily Dickinson as well a few years ago.
Or like, if I do have them, they would be very like low level. I feel like.
See, yeah.
I think I definitely had a lot when I was like young. I feel like I have more when I was younger. I think, because now I feel like I found my things that I'm like interested in more. In that kind of a way.
And like things that you've just properly expanded on. Like.
Yeah. So I like spend more of my time like doing that if it's like music or like learning like a language or something. Yeah.
See, I can say the same for myself in the sense that like I have my core things that I've like kept with me all the time, but then every fucking week there's something that I like hyperfixate on and then completely forget about.
It's great though, because by the time you're 60, you're just gonna have the most knowledge about anyone ever.
But like that's the thing, all the knowledge.
I'll be yeah, that's the thing. It'll just be in one ear for like a month and then out the other.
Literally, like I probably used to be able to tell you everything about like every single fucking Lego set at one point. Like right now,
I love Lego.
I can tell you so much about like Nintendo as a company and like Nintendo's history. But I feel like
that's
in
the thing.
year,
I don't really get
if
that.
I don't
like,
keep
I feel
up
like
with
I did have like certain interests and stuff for a while, but I don't think I had anything where it's like super intense. And I also think that is more of a like ADHD thing. If I'm correct me if I'm wrong, but
Andrew Asherman.
I do remember your hyperfixation on that. Yeah,
I was obsessed with that author, Andrew Asherman, who wrote Call Me by Your Name and fucking Out of Egypt. Oh, Enigma Variation is such a good book, but like I went through like maybe a half a year period where I was just obsessed.
oh my god, American Horror Story, that was a massive one.
I would say that was a hyperfixation, but it's
but it
not
was also
because
still
I
grand,
like
but like when it
consistent
first
with
came about, that was like you were like
yeah, I
obsessed
watched,
and consumed.
I watched
at the
all
gig.
of
I
them.
remember that was like one of the first ones I think I saw. Like you, cause like it was a thing where you were like fully like into
For
it
sure.
in the world.
I watched all 9 seasons of it in 11 days.
That's so.
Oh wait,
wild.
no, it wasn't 11 days. That's simply impossible. Wait, no, it's not impossible. But I definitely watched them. I think
in a very short period
it
of
was
time, anyway.
definitely less than 2 weeks, and then within
Yeah.
a month I rewatched them all again.
Yeah, you watched them like 3 times within the first like 2 months that
Yeah.
you knew.
I've
of
seen
them, or
all
that you got into them.
seasons. I've seen every season of American Horror Story at least 5 times now.
That's so crazy.
That's why I don't think it's
Because I'm like the
hyperfixation,
complete
'cause I'm,
opposite
like,
when it comes to
obsessed.
like, I cannot watch stuff again. I think we talked about this before, but like we're very on different ends of the spectrum with that. We're like the only thing I can watch again would be like something that's really rewatchable for me would be like Rick and Morty, where it's not a heavy plot, it's just like fun episodes. But even with
See,
that,
that's
like
not
if I've
worth
watched it
rewatching
recently,
again.
I can't rewatch it again because I'm like I know what happens. I'm just gonna be bored by it. Like I could never watch a plot heavy show again.
No, that's. I think that's why I watch like plot heavy shows over and over again, because
I
it's
couldn't because
like-
I'm like I already
I
know what
get the
happens,
in-
so it's not like that interesting to me.
See, but like with me, I forget everything.
You're like, hey, it's brand new, fresh
No,
information.
literally, like I remember watching American Horror Story Roanoke for like the 4th time, being like, I don't remember any of this. This is so good,
Yeah, that's true.
and that's why I.
Well,
like,
that's why the only
I
other
can't wait to rewatch the Lord of the Rings movies because I can't remember.
I'm
a
excited
single
of them
thing
because I don't
about
know anything. I that's the only other thing as well. When I will rewatch stuff, it is that type of vibe where I haven't watched it in so long that I don't remember what happened. So like the same for Lord of the Rings. I'm excited to rewatch that because it's been years, so I do not recall like half what happened.
Mhm.
Also, those movies are what like 12 hours altogether, bitches. If I remember,
In and around, yeah.
because I think I made a mistake the first time I watched them. Because I think I talked about this on the podcast where it was that one summer where I was like, I need to get myself cultured, and I watched like loads of. I think it was around that time, or else it was a different time. But I was like, I need to watch Lord of the Rings. I haven't watched Lord of the Rings. I need to watch it. But I watched them all in like one go, and it was like I remember being like, this was a bad idea because it was too much. So I don't think I took it in because it was just so long.
That's the thing, though. I love doing that because, like,
Well, see, I
I'll
do
watch
it
the
now, but I
entire
feel like
thing.
to get into it for the first time to try and do it all in one go was
Mhm.
like, for me at that point, I was like, maybe not because I don't remember any of it. It like went by in a blur.
No, I like doing that. Like I did that with Lord of the Rings.
I do
where,
like doing
I
that
watched,
now. I feel like it'd be better.
I watched all 3 of the extended versions in 2 days, and then I had like the time of my life, and I got
We
fully
should-
like
I wish they
engrossed in
were
the
doing,
world, and then maybe like I haven't watched them since then, and I have no idea what happened, but I remember enjoying it and learning so much about the world. So then I can jump back into it later,
Yeah.
relearn it all again. It's like listening. You know, everybody's like, "Oh, I wish I could listen to my favorite music for the first time ever again." It's kind of like that.
Oh, it's the same one actually at the moment when you're watching Game of Thrones. That's a show that I wish I could watch for the first time again because it's so good.
Mhm.
And that's the thing where like that's my thing where like I won't watch it again because I know what happens, and I know like it's a good show and people rewatch stuff to enjoy it again. But I'm like I know what happens, so I don't want to watch it again.
Mhm.
But I wish I could watch it for the first time again. But that's
You
why
know,
that's
when
what I
know
like rewatching
something's-
stuff for actually is because we're watching the Lord of the Rings again. Me, you, and Mia. We're all gonna like rewatch the Lord of the Rings and all the Hobbit movies. But I like rewatching stuff like for that reason because the reason I wanted to rewatch it as well is to prep to watch Rings of Power, which looks really good. I like rewatching for that when it's like because I want to get like every bit of information like caught up, like
Mhm.
ready at a good level.
Like I did that for American Horror Story season 10. I rewatched all of it for the 5th time just so I can get in the vibe again. Even though realistically, all I had
All
to
of
do
them are
was like,
disconnected anyway.
no, literally, but like all I had to do was just like watch 1 or 2 fucking fan cams on TikTok and then be like, oh, I'm so excited again.
Slay. And you said no, let's do all 9 seasons though
No, of course.
to really get the American Horror
course.
Story experience. I wish they were doing because I know they've done it before and they did it with Twilight recently. I was gonna go
Stop.
with Kit and Sinead, but then we just missed it. But
Is
I
it
want
done?
them to do.
Because I really wanted to go to that.
Yeah, it was like a month ago.
It was in August, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like the start of August. But I really want to do that of when they do like whole movie because I know they did that when like the most recent like Hobbit movie came out. They did like the whole like all of. You
I
went to that, didn't you?
That was really cool.
I wish I hope they do that again for Lord of the Rings, especially because Rings of Power are out. I hope they like do that at some point, or
Sure,
just
I
for
mean,
a movie franchise. I'd love
They
to do
probably will, because like there's even places just like in the middle of Ireland that do like all the Back to the Future films.
that. Yeah, I remember back
I
in
love shit
Endgame
like that.
era of like Marvel stuff. they did
That
like
was
there was
so
like that one
good.
cinema in America that played like every single MCU movie.
Or did you hear they're bringing back Spider-Man No Way Home to cinema?
Yeah, it's the extended cut, or was
Mm.
like the more stuff version they
Yeah.
called it. Yeah, that's cool. And also, yeah, they can't do that anymore now with Marvel. I feel like because there's so much shows, it would be so much longer now.
Yeah, true.
But
It'd have to be like a full entire like film festival.
girl, it would have to be like a week event, but that would be slay.
That'd be so sly.
Because I haven't rewatched that's something like because Marvel's one of my favorite like piece of media ever. I just love Marvel. And I love like the whole connected universe and whatever. And I remember I rewatched the whole thing like it was before like Phase 4, before all the shows started coming out, and now I'm like I rewatched it before to like get caught up again, like a few years ago. And now I'm like, oh my god, I want to rewatch it all again at some point in like chronological order or something, because that'd be cool. But now there's so much different like stuff to catch up on. It would take so much longer. It's so funny because like if you think about like what the origins for,
I'm really glad I started watching the MCU shit before all this. I started watching it just before Phase 3 ended.
Yeah, because if you were to try to rewatch it from the start now, I mean, it'd be slay because you'd have so much to watch.
So much.
But it would be like also so much. It would probably be overwhelming almost the amount. But like it's so interesting now because like the format of it is like, you know, if you look at like Miss Marvel, which fucking great show, really well done, I think. But like Miss Marvel, like that's 6 episodes of like 30-40 minutes. If you compare that to like, you know, like say Ant-Man or Doctor Strange, their origin movie was like 2 hours. And then if you compare that runtime, it's so interesting because it's like Miss Marvel's like origin like debut was like 5-6 hours because of how long the show was.
Something that Marvel do though that really fucking pissed me off, and I'm like, it actually sends me into a feral fucking rage. Is their episodes like one episode will be like 50 minutes, the next one will be like 28 minutes, and the next one will be
Oh,
like
I don't mind
42.
that much.
It pisses me off so much.
I don't care that much.
It makes me so upset. I'm like, just give me a fucking hour-long episode every episode. You know what I mean? Or you know what else pisses me off? When shows change their runtime. Like American Horror Story, for the first few seasons, every episode was like an hour or more long, and then they went to like 40 minutes. And I
Well,
was
see,
like,
that
oh,
would
fuck
annoy me
on.
because they're consistently, but Marvel's like never consistent like with their runtimes. But I get that. It would probably more annoy me with like American Horror Story if it was like consistently an hour and then they change it. Whereas Marvel, I don't really care that much because like they haven't set it up to be like each episode is
It
going to
was
be
season
exactly
6.
this long.
Yeah, it was
I
season.
kind of like the fluidity of it.
Because like seasons 1 to 5 of American Horror Story, there was between like 12 and 13 episodes, and they were all an hour long each,
Although
which
I
is
hate-
so much content. But then from season 6 onwards, there was like between 9 and like 12 episodes, and they were 40 minutes long, and I'm like, come on, where's the rest of it?
I much prefer the show format of like 10 1-hour episodes as opposed to like 22 40-minute episodes. I cannot watch a fucking show that's like 22 40. I think it's just like the CW type shows of like, because I used to be really into like Arrowverse, like I used to watch all them like Arrow, The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Supergirl, all that stuff. I was into that. I used to watch all of them. I've stopped watching them since, but it was like that kind of thing where I feel like compared to, I feel like you can get a lot more and a lot like better kind of, a lot less kind of filler than you can of like, I think that, and also I think that format of TV is moving out now just because of like Netflix and stuff, but I just way prefer like a one, and that's why I like Game of Thrones as well so much, because it's like the whole like
consistently
8 episodes or 8 to 10 episodes and it's like an hour long, whereas I feel like you have maybe slightly less like screen time than like a 22 episode thing, but it's also like the more you get more quality and like more specifically for the story, and it's not like wasting any of it, because a lot of the times with those shows with the like longer or the shorter episodes and the more like amount of episodes, you just get like kind of filler or like subplots. I'm like, I like it when it's just more focused on the main story and it's not overdone because they only have like 10 episodes.
I really like though when TV shows do like say Teen Wolf, because that's the first one that I can think of, to be fair.
Yes.
Oh cross,
I've never gone into it. I never had my gay. I think that would have been my gay awakening if I had gotten into Teen Wolf, but
to this day I still love Teen Wolf and I stand by it. But
Dylan O'Brien is hot.
everybody in that show is hot.
Yeah.
Oh my god, come on. I saw Sheriff Stilinski the other day and I was like, hey boo. Although he was playing like a racist, homophobic, like American dad, and I was like,
Right.
But what was I saying? Oh, like Teen Wolf had season 1, season 2, then season 3 part 1, and then season 3 part 2.
Were they both like 20 episodes?
They were both 12 episodes each, but like they came out a year after each other, like the way they do with them. But it was just like a new season, you know what I mean? Just continuing the story. But I really like when they do the shit like that. But what I didn't like was American Horror Story season 10 being first 6 episodes being one story, then the next 4 episodes being completely different story. But only because the second story that they done about the aliens, I fucking did not like it.
I think Ryan Murphy's just done so much now that it's like a boulder that's rolling down a hill that no one can stop, and
And
now he
you
can
know
just create
what?
whatever.
And I was okay with it. Ryan Murphy is the same to me as Nintendo in the sense of take my money.
Yeah.
Take my fucking money. Take my gay money.
No, take my gay money because he's a gay man behind the camera making gay weird stories, and I'll take it. I mean,
Making-
Boys in the Band I really like that
Boys in
movie.
the Band is so good. I watched The Prom. Not very good.
Yeah, it seems alright.
It was fine. He done one though that I really fucking liked. I can't remember what it was.
He did. Did he do the Gianni Versace one?
They're so good. American Crime Story.
Yeah.
They're so good. They're
It's
so
like American
good.
Crime Story, American fucking. I think he's doing an American Sports Story.
An American Love Story.
Like he
He's
said,
also
and
doing-
we're gonna change it up. We're gonna do a bit of Mad Libs at the.
He's doing an Andy Warhol series as well, where Evan Peters is playing Andy Warhol, which is funny because Evan Peters played Andy Warhol in one episode of season 7 of American Horror Story, which is arguably the best episode of the season. That's a lie. Season 7 of AHS Cult is so good. Cult is so good. It's so sick and twisted. I fucking love that shit. American Horror Story.
Hey, Sarah Paulson.
Sarah Paulson went on air and said that she isn't opposed to doing more seasons of American Horror Story, but she was like, why don't they just get another woman to do it? Other women can scream and cry, not just me. And I was like,
Hey,
so
listen,
true.
I'm not the only woman, but no one can do it quite like her. And
But
that's
to
the
be
thing.
real, breaking news, guys, Sarah Paulson's the first woman.
The first and the last.
The first and the last woman.
Anyways, I feel like we're at a good place to.
I have to go to work.
Oh my god, what time is it? Oh yeah,
It's 5:30.
we're at a good place whether we like it or not.
Whether we like
That is disgusting.
Sorry. I'm just
I feel like this
natural
episode was
human.
very chill. I feel like this was just like if someone put a glass up to like the door of the room and we were literally just talking about things we like. We're like, I like it when shows are like this and not like
They're
this.
Same, honestly.
But I like kind of episodes like that. And you,
You
would
know
just
that
better
video-
deal with it.
You know that video of the guy who's like on a newscast
Oh, my
and
hands
the
are
news
sweaty.
presenter's like, do you have anything to say or something? And then the guy just puts his entire mic over the mouth. His entire mouth over the mic.
Oh yeah, he's just like, oh.
I want to do that, but I don't want to
But
fucking
listen,
soil your mic.
Let us know if you enjoy these more like chill episodes. These more like with the girls, just like chats with the
I
girls.
don't wanna hear from you.
episode.
I don't want to hear from you. Do not text
I do.
me.
Especially text Connor, bombard him.
Okay, go for it.
He
Maybe
probably won't open it anyway.
it'll either make me throw my phone out the window or it'll make me respond to all the texts.
Yeah.
Who knows?
So, anyways, that's the end of this episode. Leave us a comment and leave us a rating and follow us on the It's a Joke Pod Insta, which is at It's a Joke Pod. If you want to keep up with the episodes when they come out, because we post about them, or just the behind the scenes giggery and sniggery and wiggery and
Guys,
piss.
please send medical supplies my way. Ooh, not
Oh.
fucking pop it, lock it, poke
Pop
it,
it,
dot
lock it, polka dot it.
Pop it. Thanks for listening. Hey guys, thanks for listening.
Hey guys, thanks for
Guys.
listening, and also have a good day.
Hey guys, it's so good to see you. Hello.
It's so good to see you with our eyes, because this is a visual podcast.
Hello.
We should do
Hello.
one of those things where it's
If
like,
you're
guys,
me,
we
I do
have
not understand
video,
that
and then
joke.
we send them a link, but it's just a link to keep going to another link, and it just brings them around in circles.
It's a link to the past. Link's Awakening.
It's a link.
Highly rated.
Legend of Zelda.
Highly rated Zelda game. Link's Awakening. Anyways, bye guys.
Anyways, later.